All right, gentlemen, let's work. Check 1 2. Check mic 1 2. Am I loud? Check. How about now? That sounds a little better. You can this thing, like I said, it does whatever it wants. One day it's at 1%. The next day I wake up, it's at 99%. I can't control this thing. What's up? Back at work already. I'm on a roll. I put in hecka work. Yeah, I dropped a hecka. Sorry for the profanity. Mic sounds good. It'll be difficult to hear until you get Premiere. Let's check it. Check 1 2 on the mic. Look at that. It looks like it's not doing anything. That's awesome. How about now? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Every time I get on,
will convert every draw.
Doesn't matter what default settings I have. I gotta check 7 things manually. The heck. Let's throw in an upper decky here and get to work. All right. So, I cannot wait to show you what I worked on, and I'm really excited to work on the next scene. So let's backtrack a wee bit. If you remember, I believe we ended the last stream with the Super Battle Droid chase into Spark Pad. And there's coordinates. Check this out. I got a highlight. I made the sickest transition between these two scenes. So I'm gonna show off my transitionary techniques, and then show you I made this entire scene today. I actually like pretty much. Whoops! What the heck? Sorry, that was. I needed one more clip to put there. I got something else to stick there. So I made this entire thing. I put up a draft of it on YouTube a few weeks ago. But that was just like big time draft. Didn't really have the conversation sorted out. Didn't have the Quarren language in there, so now I've got multiple Quarren characters all speaking in different pitches. I've got my Mon Calamari speaking his language. I've got integration of my Hutts, my Boba. See, I've got this whole storyline pretty well planned out now, and we're going to roll. I'll show that off, and then tonight we're going to be going right in from there into making this scene with the huts and getting this conversation to sync up what just happened on the Quarren vessel. And that gives us our Boba segment. Continues the B-plot. Good little 5-minute detour to give Din and Bo-Katan time to walk over to the coordinates on the other side of the city, in which they go in and they discover Moff Gideon's agent in here. So this cutscene will probably take me a bit to brainstorm and plug in all the subtitles, and then I gotta re-record all the dialogue for this scene, because it's all... I think the Commissioner sounds great. I don't think I need to re-record any of that. I kind of nailed it the first time a year ago. He sounds so good. Like, it's genuinely hard to tell sometimes when it's him versus my AI.
Jabber is such a pejorative term. I support democracy. Moff Gideon, oh, he was a visionary. He was cut short in his prime by the...
So, I bet there was only one real phrase in all that. The rest was AI. So it nailed his voice. I gotta re-record Din and Bo's and everything, because they're just robot sounding. What's up, Goop? Good to see you, man. Thanks so much for all the work. Goop's been doing some more behind-the-scenes VFX for me. That looked great. The comparison pictures you gave me, flip-flopping back and forth between those. I'll show people what you did just briefly on here. So he's helping me recolor grade the rotoscoping I did for the reunion scene. So you see Din's helmet, since this originally takes place on Tatooine. You've got all the sand reflection on the helmet, which doesn't lend to this looking like it's actually here. But then you do that, and now you're getting all the grass reflections, and now your eyes are naturally just gonna believe it more. That little color hint does such a big difference, and even see like the back of the helmet. It replaces some of those with the green. Yeah, you can see it. There's some tree line stuff all in there. So it's looking good. Still a lot of work to do on the reunion. Goob's working ahead of me now. That reunion doesn't happen for another 20 minutes in my film. So he's working ahead of where I'm at, but much appreciated. It's going to be good. I know Wookiees, Rebels, and More is actually making his own version of that reunion scene. Though I think he's only done previs. He's trying to do it in like Blender for some of it. This is going to be a good stream today. We got some good stuff going on. Bring in some Purge troopers as the agent's bodyguards. Maybe get some Electro... Oh, wow. But if they're in there, they'd have to fight. They're not just going to stand there and watch their dude get zapped. So, and I want... My whole thing is that he's like an undercover Imperial sympathizer still working for Gideon. Because he's like rerouting all the battle droid shipments. Trying to benefit the Empire. So I don't think you can openly have troopers in here. There's no fight scene I could make happen. And he's supposed to be undercover anyways. And then after that, they go right out. They're finally free from the train getting rerouted, their ship getting rerouted. So they're in the tram now, and then they'll go into this. And we'll do the Darksaber stuff. I still have up here, you can see, I've done some of the Grogu removals. So he's gone from there, but then this one I still need to remove him. So I'll take this in After Effects. I don't know if I'm going to get to that tonight, but that's coming in the next stream or two. Grogu's mostly gone, so you see, like, I got rid of him on some of them. He's gone now, but gotta do some more. So, I guess let's show this off. You guys get, I wonder if YouTube is going to wreck me for this. They messed up that last stream bad. They, they chopped that thing up. Guess I showed too much. This one, like, all of the dialogue is completely different. They might still snipe the visuals, but whatever. Live stream bennies. That's why you watch live. Nothing's cut out. How about a K2 droid? Would be cool, but would a K2 droid actually just stand there as his... And that would, like, set off... I guess it's a pretty droid-integrated world. But I feel like if there's a K2 droid, you would expect it to do something. I can't animate a fight scene with Din or Bo doing anything other than this, so... I think him being undercover. It's good flavor. I would definitely love it in another context, but... Well, I mean, like, if he's just standing there, it would look cool, but then you'd immediately be like, wait. Then it feels like everyone in this room is an Imperial, and they respond, like, really shocked when they start hearing him rant about Moff Gideon and the glory days of the Empire. So... Alright, let's watch some of this. Let's watch what I did. So again, this transition comes like that. I just want to show off what I did. So then I pull in the Quarren frigate underneath, and I throw this, like, dynamic rotation on it. And then it, like, swoops right into the door opening. I think it looks kind of sexy, so let's show you. Oh, I'm going to run through this whole scene. Screw Disney. Screw copyright. I don't care. I'm a man of the people. I never get copyright strikes. They just make me trim stuff out.
Että jätetti sattimat malaan.
We are not Imperial.
Our client isn't interested in your credits. This is about vengeance. We are Mandalorian. Your passenger, Prince June, is wanted by our employer. You'd be wise to hand him over peacefully, Captain Shuggath.
We do.
Precisely. The Hutts tried to assassinate our client.
I gotta work on that.
This is simply him returning the favor.
And we always honor our...
This, I was working on lip sync, because this is on Axe Woves' face, so I have a work in progress lip sync, which I was rendering something when I left earlier, so. Again, this is madness. You realize who you're crossing. Now listen to how Axe Woves responds.
We do.
Precisely. The Hutts tried to assassinate our client. This is simply him returning the favor.
And we always honor our contracts.
Which is why we cannot accept your generous offer.
You see, we were already hired by Boba Fett. No, I didn't say anything about war. All I want is one life.
My job is not to destroy your business.
But simply to complete the tasks for which we were hired. Okay, let's make this quick. We've got alerts coming in from Plazir 15. Don't make us damage your girlfriend's pretty little ship.
We're counting on it.
My subtitles there disappeared for some reason. Mon Calamari was supposed to say, if you betray me, you can't escape the wrath of the twins, or something like that. So then she responds, Boba's wrath would be worse. I still have to do volume balancing for a lot of this, and move some of the subtitle timing. Some of it was kind of jacked up, but I'll let it play out.
Come with us, Prince. It's a long ride home.
So definitely want to extend that out a little bit. Cool. There we go. So, definitely not 100% finished yet. Volume balance is out of control a little bit, but that's the general storyline that will play out for that section. You should reading the Star Wars authorities. Chat's here. He should trap them right there with an electric cage, like a ray shield, like Episode 3. Like, put a shield around them there. She needs to be able to shoot through it, though. That'd be some crazy VFX work to, like, have a shield, then the dart, like, pierces through the shield and then hits him. I think it works as is. Darth Sion would bust out of the tank. Dude, I love that cutscene. And all of, like, the storyline of him breaking out of the Harbinger. Like, the confusion at how he's still alive, the Republic officers and all. I watched that recording so many times where he, like, boom, blows out, like, force repulses out of the Bacta tank and just massacres the entire ship. That would be so cool in live action. That cutscene's, it's like a camera recording, if I remember right. And then the one with, when you're talking to Kreia and she, like, tells the story of Nihilus and Sion betraying her. That cutscene is so good too. That one's deep. That's a serious cutscene, especially when she talks about how, like, she suffered indignities. The way she says it is, like, kind of disturbing. Like, she hesitates. She's like, and I suffered indignities. And I've never fully grasped what she's referencing there. Is it just that her station was removed, essentially? Some of her powers were damaged? Did these monsters of human beings, Scion and Nihilus, do something worse to her physically. That line has always been, man, what happened? Those transitions are, yeah, the transitions, super, like the starting one and the ending one, both like using the blacks, because you like got one door closing, boom, straight into another door opening, which is, these are from 2 different TV shows. It just happens to work out really well. And then this thing I just made today, because it just looked really lame, because this one like kind of fades to black. I can't even remember what it goes to in the normal show. Does it go to that? What? Why is it doing that? That doesn't look right. Is that what actually happens in the show? I'm so confused. There's no way. Yeah, okay. Why is it doing that? Yeah, you see, it's upside down. Because this opens up this episode. That opens the Plazir episode. What is... How is it showing me that? What? I'm confused. I don't know what that fade to black goes into in the show, but I took advantage of it and kind of just fades and get this rotation here because it looks sick when you do that. And I'm all about things looking sick. He was Star Killer before Star Killer was a thing. Yeah, the Force Repulse. He wasn't disintegrating fools with it, though. TFU2 was a bit over the top. So was TFU1, but it's charming in a way. I would love to see an adaptation of it, but like extremely toned down. I always read that line as the master of betrayal got betrayed. That's quite the destruction for her, I bet. Yeah, that's a good point. Like her status was kind of everything to her. The heck is this? Oh, that's on my other drive, isn't it? I didn't plug that drive in. Okay, whatever. Where is that drive? Hold on, let me turn my flashlight on. My phone. Do I have that here? Oh my goodness. Give me... Hold on, I gotta crawl under my desk. What did I do? Okay. Goodness gracious. I launched Premiere earlier and it was telling me to like relink all these files. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Why would it just do that? I plugged in the wrong drive. Stuff was looking in the wrong spot. I'm going to relaunch that actually now that... The mouse is moving. I was probably tugging on the cord while I was down there. It's probably like on my back or something. Yeah, I have this come on, don't break, because I have had so many errors with this thing. I've had to resave this file like 10 different times. Speaking of, I need to make another copy right now because I'm paranoid. Can you imagine if I lost it? I back this up occasionally, but I do kind of rely on the autosave feature. I've got 7 trillion autosaves, but... I have so many copies of this file on multiple drives because I do not want to lose my work. Let's just throw you somewhere else just in case. Actually, I want to work on that one now. And then that... This is still messed up. Why didn't it let me relink that right away? Son of a gun. It changed all my freaking drive names too. It's part of it. There we go. Man, I love this color grading. I gotta go find my color gradings for here. And I haven't color graded this movie at all yet, so much other than the clips I'm using from other versions of movies I made. Yeah, I'm working on integrating a couple other things for this fight. I tried working on it one stream, but I love the shot of Boba blasting somebody when he shoots that wrist rocket and just like disintegrates that guy on the wall. I want to put it like right here. So I want it to be like he blocks it, lifts that arm, blasts the guy, then finishes off this guy, which is the guy he ends up capturing. And then there's been two different people. I believe it was... Let me find the right clip here. Oh, I don't have it in here. I'll have to add it. I didn't use that clip of the Gamorrean because it looked really bad in the base show. But there's two different editors have made like a little bit of blood effects when one of these Gamorreans comes in with their sword and like slices it right across the dude's neck. And it's like Disney chickened out because they VFX'd like a gap in his neck and then just nothing comes out of it. So it ends up looking super goofy. And when I say gap, I don't just mean like the fabric got cut. I mean like he's like looking up and there's like a triangle slice like out of his neck where they just like erased part of his neck for what I presume would have been the blood splatter, and then they just never animated it, so it's just a bare like harsh triangle gap that's there. So there's been Wookiees, Rebels, and more, and also Movies Remastered already did blood effects here. I've got an example of one. And it's not like excessive blood where it would gross me out. Or be like... So this is his fix. This is from like over a year ago, so I was just using that as an example. So you can see he did like... So that's what I'm talking about. They like deleted part of his neck, but then they didn't actually do the blood. So I think just a quick little, like that works. That's not like excessive for Star Wars. That's all. I mean, you're swinging a freaking cleaver at somebody's neck. What do you think is going to happen? So I'll probably throw that in. Okay. Let me check the chat. Apparently there's a way to download the Brotherhood KOTOR 1 for mobile. Oh, really? But there's a part of it that you couldn't find. Oh, I hope you can discover that. It's really fun. The Gamorreans are pretty useless in the oh yeah, they just get like pushed off a cliff. They suck. Okay, so I'll do the audio touch-ups later. I did want to check on my lip sync. Hold on. See if I can chuck that in this section. Using the same software that I did the Ragnar Vizsla lip sync for. Let me see if it finished. Hello? Where's all my renders? Oh, I'm not signed in. Here we go.
The Hutts tried to assassinate our client. This is simply him returning the favor. The Hutts tried to assassinate our client. This is simply him returning the favor.
That's not the actual
The
voice.
Hutts tried
That's just the robot voice that helps the
to
lip
assassinate our
sync.
client. This is simply him returning the favor.
Yeah, I got a few different takes.
Our client. This is simply him returning the favor. The
Yeah.
Hutts tried to assassinate our client.
Yeah, because the way they it records the robot voice is like the tone that the mouth will move. So I tried just a few different robot voices to see if it would change the animation.
This is simply him returning the favor. The Hutts tried to assassinate our client. This is simply him returning the favor.
Alright, I'll go through those later. I need to take those into After Effects and touch them up a little bit anyways. Alright, so let's get to writing the Hutt section. That's what I really wanted to work on tonight. I just want to get like the whole Boba segment story done and then do the technical stuff, the boring stuff later on. Let's do the fun stuff. Let's work. Let's write. You were watching the video for how to do the Brotherhood thing. After you downloaded and extracted the files, you couldn't find the dialogue TLK. It was from 7 years ago. Oh, that stinks. So maybe like the file or path organization changed. Alrighty. So, boom, door slams. Fett walks out. So now, look, the storyline is the Hutts try to assassinate Boba. Boba retaliates. He takes their asset, Prince Jun. Now the Hutts show up at his door to talk. That kind of follows the model of what we were saying originally on a couple streams ago, that we wanted. They try to assassinate, doesn't work. Then they try to negotiate. You know, that it's kind of a ploy. It's going to be kind of like a threatening conversation. Boba's very standoffish in this scene anyways, so it works well. He doesn't say too much. I pulled in one phrase of him speaking in Huttese, so I can write whatever I want Boba to say here.
Yes, motherfucker, you dig.
That for some reason this happened too. I gotta fix all this. Like my zooms just went crazy. So I gotta fix all those weird zooms going on. And then I got all this dialogue from the Hutts so that I can just do what I want. So that's what we're gonna be writing. So we're in the Boba's retaliated. Now the Hutts come to talk for the first time. They realize, it's not as easy to kill Boba as we thought. We can't just like half-ass this. Let's go talk to him face to face, see what's going on. It says 2.0 because the file for Canderous Overhaul was updated. Oh. I'm not that good at KOTOR modding to help you out. I haven't played KOTOR probably like 7 years since I last actually launched the game. I think that was my last playthrough. Maybe 6 years. Okay.
Arjun Kata Makai.
Go on.
So rewriting all this from scratch. Chupunka Porompai. I kind of like to look what the show actually made them say first. We have come to apologize. I don't really want that, so I'll change it. But it helps kind of give me direction with the tone a little bit, so I just like to take a peek at what they wrote before. Go on.
Go on.
Onkidu Chrysanthemum Crispa Uba.
Otlakani Kiyojapa Ishka Mumuli.
I'm kind of struggling with the Rancor gift, because now it's like the third Rancor Boba would be getting. But so much of this scene is about it. I mean, this is the Rancor he rides, which is different than his Palace Rancor. This is the same model that he took into battle earlier, which the last we saw of it was that it just, like, sprinted away. So I could just do, like, they are returning his Rancor, rather than, like, giving him one. That was my original idea with it. It was like, they're kind of, you know, trying to bribe him a little bit, like, hey, look, we're being friendly, we brought your Rancor back. That's probably the direction. It is good to see you alive. Oh, you want like a big ploy in here? You could definitely go that direction. So we got one line from her. I've named these two. They don't have names in canon, so I've just, for my own purposes, this one's Baraga the Hutt, and this one's Narkella the Hutt. Heck yeah, Goob, you're saying what I just said. You probably got some. Maybe I didn't look in time, but yeah, that's the idea I was going. Since the other one sprinted away, they're gonna return it. Okay, I'm trying to rethink this first line then. If you're gonna go, if you want to do the, it is good to see you alive. I don't think Boba's response works as well to that. Send Chrysanthemum to kill you. And then Boba just stares at them blankly after. Then he presents the returned Rancor. My whole purpose of this is I want their plan is just to get to let... They want Boba to let his guard down. So they can try to assassinate him again. So this whole negotiation should be kind of a ploy. I want it to be presented as like a false peace. Boba stays suspicious. Because next, I believe, I'm going to try and do the... I need to do the Garza bombing. And then we've got the other scene with the twins. And then the Chrysanthemum attack. And then the scene of Boba, like, stewing at the dinner table is going to be kind of the final scene where he's, like, deciding if he goes to Mandalore or not. You could swap his reactions around. So it is good to see you alive. Blank stare. Then we have come to settle our dispute. Go on. Then the Rancor comes out. That's a good idea. The clip timing. This is going to be a complicated swap. I don't have the right files in here to do much, unfortunately. See if I can do this jank. I don't have the 5.1 audio for this plugged in right now. I could. I just take a while of file management to do all that. But I might have to because I think the music is going to go whack. No, that's not bad. That's a little mistimed. Hold on. Is that right? It's pretty close. Let's try this. I like the idea a lot. Subtitles. Her lip sync is still a little bit off. Which way is this supposed to go? That way? Why can I not figure this out? Sometimes this lip sync stuff is like so difficult. Your mind. Like I can't figure out which way it needs to move more. No, that's wrong. It feels like whatever you do, it's just the opposite every single time. That was a little better. That looks better, okay. Let's try that. Oh, hold on. I already messed up the audio there.
Go on.
Hot luck.
Okay, now I... trying to think if I want to change this dialogue at all. I kind of maybe just say like is that too long for what she says?
Probably
just leave those subtitles up longer.
Go on.
It's a little too many words. When she says Oba, about that, this will probably.
Go on.
Okay. Please accept this gift as restitution. We are sorry. That's what I said. Okay. Definitely changing that. So let's say it's too long already. This is out of hand. Let's settle our dispute. The period doesn't really work with the sentence structure.
Go on.
Okay, if I do that, and then this one, can I say... cut there? And why did I cut it?
Clear off Tatooine, and I will consider a truce.
See, I like that now. Why did I cut that? I need to get like the full footage of this. Because this is from like an old cut I did with totally different things happening, so... Let me just extend this though. I like that statement from Boba. Oh. Is this where she says we will do just that? Yeah, okay. So I can just put that back in like that. That sounds like a very Boba Fett thing to say in this context now, so I'm going to leave that in. I don't think... I'm reading your thing, Goob. I just don't... They don't talk again before... I think this works.
Plakani Kiyojapa Ishka Mumuli.
A little too wordy there. I mean, I can just say that a lot easier like this.
Plakani Kiyojapa Ishka Mumuli.
Okay, he does it. Boba's not, I mean, he's like pleased but not overly impressed.
Clear off Tatooine, and I will consider a truce.
Odmita kayuyi mebono pasafi. La imatran rikse.
Say your piece.
We got a good line of dialogue from her here. Get a lot of storytelling in there. Oh, that's good. Let me just get a feel for the whole conversation. Say all peace.
Ontakindo Payuya. Di Hajiti Kesbo Andopa Le Syndicata.
Yes, motherfucker.
Let me fix this craziness I got going on here. Oops. That way? Oh, come on. What am I doing? The heck? Do I have like a repeated frame? I think I do. There we
go. And what of the huts?
So he goes in what of the huts? Then she looks over at him. More dialogue. He just stares. They talk again. They say goodbye. They leave. Then she does that. And boom. Okay. When Boba doesn't say too much. This is too loud.
Damn huts.
Alright, now I've got a pretty good feel for conversation. Apology for our misunderstanding. Oh, as an apology. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Comma. I can probably just do them all in one now. That italicized too much. Oh, no, that's freaking italicized. Stop that. Then I might not. Probably be easier just to do it all in one.
Go on.
What is going on with this italics? Oh, come on. I feel like I'm very clearly highlighting this and then only... There we go.
Go on. Clear off Tatooine, then I will consider a truce.
Odmita kayuyi, mebo no pasafi, la imatran rikse.
Okay, she talks a lot here, so it's time to get creative. We'll do that, but for a different reason. There was something you should know. Okay. I'm not using any of what she says, but... Okay, so the purpose I want in the second half of the conversation, we've now established that they've come to the table to supposedly make peace. We're getting a long dialogue from her, and it's enough to make Boba Fett say your piece. So let's go. You are a very greedy Mandalorian. We have given you a gift. Oh, because this, yeah.
And I will consider a truce.
How about that?
Odmita kayuyi, mebo no pasafi, la imatran rikse. La imatran rikse.
Say your piece.
Because that's enough to get Boba to be like, all right, yes, a war between us is going to be bad for business. Say your piece. What are your terms? was lied to. This territory has already been promised to another syndicate. Okay. Pull you over here.
Yes, motherfucker.
Let's see what Boba actually says here. I moved over the Huttese from a different thing, but let's see what he actually says.
Promised by who?
Promised by who? That's why, because that's like part of the Pike invasion mystery, which, yeah, that's not totally working. So the Huttese works there better, so I can do anything. One second. Just responding to a message. That's good. Okay, I like where it's going so far. The Pikes have gone. I see no reason why we can't divide the territory. Boba can respond with saying he killed the Pikes.
Yes, motherfucker.
I've got another one of those weird zoom glitches.
And what of the huts?
Okay. Or something like, the Pikes are gone, your forces are diminished, and we want territory.
Say your place.
Achakinko Payuya.
Hakindo Payuya, Dia Hajiti Kesbo Andopa Le Syndicata.
He so clearly says syndicate at the end, so I need it to end with like syndicate in English. There is an opening now without... Yeah, okay, that's kind of the same line I thought I was going down.
Und Hakindo Payuya, Dia Hajiti Kesbo Andopa Le Syndicata.
Yes, motherfucker. GG. Yes, motherfucker.
Okay, so what would Boba Fett say in Huttese, kind of in response to that? That is, when he says it a little bit aggressively. He's not happy with this proposal to share the land. I could do something more passive, like I paid for my territory in blood. I could have him insult them. Let me see how this flows.
Unser Kinder Ayuya, die Hagiti Kesbo Andopa Le Syndicata.
Yes, motherfucker. Didik.
Mangapuya Karakamaksh.
Congaruga Papakamokshes. I like land is easier.
Yes, motherfucker. Didik.
Mangapuya Karakamaksh.
And what of the huts?
What Baka do?
So he says, and what of the huts? Which is kind of hard to get context for, because she only says...
Mangapuya Karakamaksh.
And what of the huts?
What would cause Boba to say, and what of the huts?
Mangapuya Karakamaksh. Mangapuya Karakamaksh.
What would cause Boba to say, and what of the huts? It's... It's an odd phrase because he's talking to huts, so he's has to be talking about like the bigger picture huts than just these two.
And what of the huts?
Okay, because then I'm reading your comic, Goob, now. If I then have him start talking about the Hutt families... Do I have a draft of... I made this scene elsewhere once. And I am curious if I kept any of my old subtitles. This is the second interaction with them. If I'm not mistaken, it's in this one, isn't it? I don't have the palace conversation in this one. I don't see that other scene anywhere. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I only have that other one. So if I have Baraga, then start... Look at him. That's weird. He's getting handsy with his sister. I do not like that. I almost need Boba to say, like, and what of the other huts?
And what of the huts? And what of the huts?
Can you say, and what of the other huts? Like, talking about, okay, you just want a little piece of my land. Then what? Your giant hut cartel is going to come after the rest of mine later on? And the cost might increase, and what of the huts? Council would consider blood an act of war. And the cost might increase. So I pay.
And what of the huts? And what of the huts?
This one's tying me up. If he said what of the other huts, I could definitely do this.
And what of the huts?
It's so odd, the context. I don't even like this. They're talking about the spineless mayor. I like the dialogue back and forth of the suggestion there, and the cost might increase.
And what of the huts?
I just don't think Boba's response fits that too well. Oh, this one's tying my brain up. Ah, dang, I'm just like, just writer's block on this one. They're gonna say something that, like, gets her attention. It's like, what are you gonna do, Boba? That's tearing me up.
And what of the huts?
Man. Think. I might prompt something here to jog my ideas. Coop's cooking. I'm trying to cook something too. Oh, here we go, here we go. The Kiwi has spoken.
And what of the other huts? The huts. What of the other huts? What of the other huts? What of the other hut? The other huts. Of the other huts.
Nice. I'm trying to see if I can... If I want to just try it with other or do the whole thing.
And what of
It's probably going to sound way too different if I do that. See if it's anywhere close.
And what of
the other huts?
He's speaking like so gravelly in this. It's going to be hard to match up any of the tone.
And what of the other huts?
Oh, I gotta get the freaking soundtrack from the 5.1 audio anyways. And
what of the other huts? And what of the other huts?
try to see if I can just sneak the other in there.
what of the hut?
There's no way.
What of the hut? What of the huts? And what of the huts? What of the huts?
What Baka do?
What of the huts?
Dang. Seems to be like way slower.
What of the huts?
What?
The other.
The other.
The other.
The audio under the background is screwing me.
And And what of
The other
the hut?
This is brutal.
And what of
The other
hut?
Yeah, there's no way I can do that. No matter what I do, I'm gonna need the 5.1 audio in here. What freaking episode is that even in? Probably easy just to go to Star Wars Wiki and find it. So it's chapter 2 or 3. Yep. Oh, a double gobble ba. Which one do I got here? There's 2. Is it this one? So the beginning of this episode? I freaking had it in my timeline this entire time. Oh wait, oh that's not it. Okay. It must be chapter 3. Okay, because you get this one first. Gotcha. So they're in 3. Two, 1, 2. Come on. There we go. I've got so many freaking files in here. Got an 18-hour timeline now. The raw audio and AI. Okay.
And what of the other hut? And what
of the other hut? And what of...
I was working on a different boba model today, and I was also... where is it? I can't find that. It's just 11 Labs has no clue how to do the Kiwi. It cannot replicate boba. Come on, where are the? There they are. Here's the twins.
Promised by who? And what of the hut?
I didn't think of this. Instead of that, I have the...
Promised by who?
Shoot. That's probably my freaking solution. Gosh dang it, it's been right in front of me this entire time. Oops. This is so easy to write around. Because now the sister can just say... Oh my goodness, this is probably gonna work after all that. Crazy.
Promised by who?
My goodness. Because now I'm gonna just have her say like, we were promised this territory. Like, well, so she goes, and there's plenty to go around after your destruction of the Pike Syndicate. He says, I paid for my land with blood, and then she's like fanning herself all snooty like, and she's gonna be like, well, we were actually promised this territory. He's like, promised by who? So I still need the underlying soundtrack.
And what of us?
Surrounding noises. Can you believe it after all that? Wowzers. That's something.
Syndicate.
Yes, my pocket dick.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What? Wait, what? Why did it do that?
Yes, my pocket dick.
Oh. That human error. Human error.
Promised by who?
And nice. Almost there. That he screams it in that one. Promised by who? Harry Potter doesn't put your name in the goblet of fire.
Promised by who?
What baka do hata? No otalucha.
Oh my goodness. This is gonna work. Alright. I can't be grumpy. I just need to be happy it worked. You know? You can mope, or you can suck it up and move on. So your only options in life. Any situation.
Syndicate.
Yes, my pocket dick.
I want Boba to say that a little sooner. Oh.
Yes, my pocket dick.
That doesn't really fit.
Pocket dick. Promised by who?
What baka do hata? No otalucha.
Nigula da Puno.
I want them to say something like a little insulting to him now. So he kind of just like stares there and fumes the rest of the time and doesn't say anything, like he's brainstorming how is this conflict actually going to play out. Tatooine was promised by it. Tatooine was promised to us. That works. She says the word Tatooine later, kind of obviously, I think, though. Let me listen.
No otalucha.
Nigula da Puno.
On Iluxi and Rimashuk.
Tatooine
Right there.
Adwara Wookie Patalopakapa.
Chache Copa.
So she does say Tatooine later. Yeah, that works. Promised by who?
Napuya Karakamokshe.
Promised by who?
What baka do ata? No otanucha.
So then Baraga responds. Baraga responds with a little statement and a chuckle. What do they make him say that makes him laugh? We are going back to Hutta. Hilarious, man. Gonna sneak a little bit of this is a bit of EU lore in here. I want to mention the 5 families.
What baka do ata? No otanucha. No otanucha.
what do you think about this? Is that too goofy? It's got to be something that like makes the Hutt laugh at himself.
By who?
Is that good? A little Rancor dick joke in there, kind of, but I'm gonna roll with it for now. Yeah, Goop should do the subtitles. He's written probably a good 10% of the dialogue in this film. Yeah, subtitle edit, you're fired. No, you're not allowed to write anymore. Subtitle edit is banished. It's too good. The software is too powerful. No man can wield it. Haven't you ever read Animal Farm? Bail Organa should have basically been what Luthen was in the way of helping start the rebellion. Luthen just walks around sending people to die. Doesn't care. Dang. I liked the addition of Luthen. I thought he was a very well written character, and I don't think he like steps on Bail's toes too much. Bail is still very much involved. That the confusion in the last arc of Andor was like there is a lot that happens in the time gap between like arc 3 and 4, because even though it says like 1 year later, 1 BBY, it's literally like 3 days before 0 BBY. So to parallel Earth's calendar, it's basically like it's, to me, as I understood it, there was like a year and 11 months that go by in between those two arcs. So it's technically still one ABY, whereas the previous episode occurs, or the previous arc occurs like the beginning of 2 BBY. Then the next arc is like 3 days before 0 BBY. So it's like just shy of 2 years. And there's a lot that goes on there where, in the EU at least, Bail Organa is very influential in the rebellion, and you've got the Force Unleashed happening in this timeline, the Empire at War game, where the rebels are starting. Various like military generals are doing attacks, getting X-wings, they're stealing them and stuff. So Bail's very much involved in that gap that we see in Andor, which Andor was supposed to be at least 3 seasons. Gilroy was pushing for 5 at one point. They just didn't have the budget to do it, so they had to cut out a few storylines that he wanted to tell.
Kamakshe.
Promised by who?
I think that really works. It's it's like so disrespectful to Boba, but again, we have to do something where what they're saying like kind of rattles Fennec, where she's like, "Dang, what are we gonna like?" They're talking to you like this, and then Boba he doesn't say anything else. He just stares at them like he's pissed. So that these Hutts are like super full of themselves. They're dicks, so I need to. I think that works for their character. Bad for business. No. So they're giving these like underhanded, disrespectful comments to Boba. So I want her to be. Let's get her in the frame a little bit more. Her fanning herself is really good, I think, for the tone of these Hutts. I don't know. I don't need to be so zoomed in on them. Let's get her hand in there. Oh, okay. That's why I had that. But I can just do this. There we go. This is funny. I like this. So then I want her to kind of like piggyback on his comment. It kind of sounds like she's saying Puru. That's a good idea, Goob. Just makes it easier to read. The subtitles go by a little too fast with that, I think. That helps. You say, and much more skillful. How about and They don't run away. Kind of insulting, like, Boba's ability to tame his Rancor.
What baka do ata? No otanucha.
Nigula da puno.
That works, because that's, like, a little bit threatening also. Kind of being like, the Rancors will eat you. I like that. And that's the thing that makes Fennec look over, because she's like, damn. They're just kind of openly insulting and threatening you now. Boba's fuming.
On Iluxi and Rimashuk.
Tatooine dupadudarame.
So he goes. Now, I don't want them to just completely nonstop berate Boba. So this is where they, like, come back with an offer. It's not an offer that benefits Boba. It's not a good offer. But it is an offer nonetheless. Yeah, there you go. I had the same thought there. Yeah. Well, it's not just peace. It's that they want something of his. They want Boba to give him part of their territory. Concession might that I think it's both points across. That it's not just about peace, it's they want him to concede peacefully. Because I need Boba's mind churning through the rest of this film of, am I actually going to go to war with the Hutts right now? Or is Mandalore my safety net? Just bring in Tenebrae and have him take the Hutt's life. Tenebrae would freaking devour all of Tatooine. Did you read the Revan book yet? Authority? Peace is a lie, there is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. And through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. I just got Darth Barris. I love the way he delivers that. Such passion. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no chaos. There is harmony. Oh, I missed one. What is it? There is no something. There is serenity. There is no death. There is the Force. Closer to being finished? Okay. Definitely want you to pop on and give your review of that once you're done. super interested in what you think of that. And then, have you played any of Star Wars: The Old Republic? If you're doing mostly mobile, iPad gaming or tablet, whatever, I would guess not. Then you don't need a super powerful PC to play it. It is very old potato PC friendly. If you have even an old laptop, it could run it. Oh, I know. The BBY, dude, I'm thinking, as I'm watching that, I'm like, if I end up doing an Andor fan edit, I am freaking fixing the numerical alphabetical placement of the dating system. Why did they do that? Is they supposed to is that like the hip thing to do now? That was so obnoxious. He's speaking slowly enough where you could just say consent. Okay. That's fair. The heck? What was that error? Oh my goodness. Look what's happening. Goob, help me. What is that? That's disgusting. Awesome. And my error box is giving me a white screen. Okay, hold on. Let me reboot Premiere. Subtitle. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The heck? How does editing one subtitle do that? Imagine if I was using subtitle edit, huh? If it tells me this file's freaking corrupted again, I will lose it. Dude, Premiere does hate me. This is like all technology I touch, though. Phones, laptops, my work computer. I've got like mini EMPs in my fingers or something. I just corrupt any electronics I touch. Okay, it looks like that glitch just resolved on reboot. That was odd. I've never seen that one before.
Nigula da Puno.
On Iluxi and Rimashuk.
Tatooine. Tatooine Lupadudarame.
Iluxi and Rimashuk.
Tatooine Lupadudarame. Tatooine Lupadudarame.
I think that works there. Also, the Rebels hologram speech was retconned because Gilroy thinks he can do better instead of keeping the continuity straight. Yeah, we were actually having a little bit of discussion on Goob's original trilogy forum about that. Just the holocron edit. Here's the exact quote from Tony Gilroy. He said, "In canon, she's rescued by the Gold Spot Squadron, and the speech they gave in the cartoon, which was a canonical show, that speech is on that ship." And we were like, do I have to stick to this fucking speech in a really sneaky way? We're minimizing what they did in Star Wars Rebels, but we're keeping it consistent. We're just saying you don't really know the whole story of what happened. I don't like that decision. I agree. That's not very... it's such a bad precedent to set. I don't care if you can write it better. Like, yes, I'm sure with a giant live action scene compared to a 10-second kids cartoon snippet, you can write a better speech. But just include the small segment that was in Rebels in yours and then build around it, because somebody else wrote that one. Somebody else was contributing to the larger canon, and then you just come in and say, like, I'll kind of stick to it. I'll use some generalities of it, but do I actually have to stick to that effing thing? It's like, come on. I just don't like the precedent of when one author can come in the future and just, like, rewrite something somebody already did. I find that to be quite disrespectful. This has happened a few times in canon already. This wasn't really a problem in the EU. The culture of EU author to author was so much better. Listen to, like, James Luceno speak about like the camaraderie that old EU authors had together. Like, they would be in giant group chats and be like, hey man, what are you working on? Like, I want to tie my stuff into what you're doing. And they would, like, work together. Who was it? I'm trying to think of the author's name. Kevin J. Anderson. He talks about that as well. He wrote a ton of the EU stuff in the 90s and early 2000s. And he was working very closely with all the other authors doing NJO. And he said they had, like, shared boards and constant meetings and phone calls about how to write their stories cohesively. And he said none of it was Lucas directed. He was like, we just had such a reverence for this timeline and era. We didn't want anything to contradict each other. We had such respect for what each other was doing. And listen to some of the new authors interview, or even some of the legacy authors that they've brought forward. I believe John Jackson Miller, they've had to write some new stuff too. Of course, Timothy Zahn. But they all say it is just, like, so independent now. Disney just, like, reaches out randomly, doesn't really coordinate anything. They don't care what's coordinated. It's just, like, it's gotten very isolated in terms of how they write books and write these overarching stories. So you get situations like this hologram thing where it's just the individual thinks they can do it better, so they just do. They just step on somebody's toes, which is quite upsetting to me. But, I mean, Tony Gilroy, I mean, if you listen to the interviews of him when he was coming in to save Rogue One, he was like, yeah, my superpower is that I don't like Star Wars. He's like, I never grew up with a reverence for it. I don't really call myself a fan. I'm just... I think he just says he's a good storyteller, and that he wants to bring Star Wars into good storytelling. But the cool EU references that came from Andor were not from Tony Gilroy. He does not know about Star Wars lore, nor does he care about it. That's not to say he isn't a very, very talented storyteller. I think he was brilliant. I think he wrote an awesome rebellion story. Just those little things peeve me. Your Premiere subs are broken. In the Twilight of the Apprentice, they just don't save. Dude, Premiere gets... I've said it before. Every update they've released, more bugs. I'm not even impressed with, like, the features they add. It's definitely falling. I know so many editors in my field who just switch to DaVinci products all around because they're so annoyed at Adobe. Adobe definitely got lazy. They became king and got lazy. Tatooine will be ours regardless. You might as well control part of it. The first speech before Hera, Zeb, and Ezra. Yeah, I don't think it's really a retcon, but you cut that, yeah. Hey, the Empire cut down her hologram speech, so we're just extending it. Also, I'm not a big fan of what Mom wears the blue. It's been said by others involved with Rogue One. Rogue One was already good. You didn't necessarily fix it. Oh, interesting. Someone had a problem with it. Or did they just like wanted him to touch up some things? I don't know the whole story of why it left. I know Edwards wasn't like disgraced. Like, who were the guys who started writing Solo? They got like the boot. The stories on set from people who worked on Solo were like, it was a mess. They were like surprised that movie even came out. Who came in and saved it? I can't remember any of those directors' names. You're still using Adobe 2017? Yeah, you're smart. I'm on 25 and it sucks. Okay, so you said Tatooine will be ours regardless.
Tatooine dupa-dudarami. Adwara Wookiee patalopag ka pa. Patalopag ka pa.
We might as well control part of it. I want a different tone at the end. You would love to see Edward's full version. He was definitely passionate. The guy who plays one of the Mon Calamari said it was superior. Interesting. Like Act 1 of Rogue One is really messy, and you can tell there was like multiple visions prying for control. The movie really comes together, I think, in Act 2 and 3 is very solid, but like the first 40 minutes of that movie are very messy with bouncing between characters and all sorts of stuff. I remember, you know what kind of Star Wars fan I am and how much attention I pay to this stuff. Watching Rogue One in theaters the first time, I completely lost. There were so many like random scenes and characters just popping in and out. I 100% conflated Cassian and Bodhi as the same character, and I was so confused because it like opens with Cassian because they I think Bodhi is he Middle Eastern and Diego is Hispanic. They both have that like creamy skin and dark hair and like a little bit of facial hair. I just completely made them one character in my mind, and I was like, wait, how did he get captured by what's going on? And then it was like when Act 2 started and they're like in the same scene together, I was like, whoa, what's happening? How did I miss that? We look forward to a generous partnership. The tone I was thinking for this second half was Tatooine will be ours regardless. Kind of like all that can change will be how much more blood you want to spill or not. Something along those lines. And then this dude just... And then I'm going to have him say, he just goes, Chache Boba. So I want him to say, heck is that? It's just a scene of Chrysanthemum. Yeah, in the real thing, Chrysanthemum's standing there the whole time. I've just cropped him out of everything. I mean, I could extend it just to give more time looking at Boba. Is that worth it? Writing was probably tighter, but I would have liked to see the original before Gilroy came in. Would be interesting. I can't say either way which one would have been better. So I want this to be like a count your costs conversation. Do you actually want to follow through with this conflict? Do you actually think you're going to go to war with all the Hutts? You want to play Daimyo? This is the game. So that's why I want this one to be... how do I word this? Again, I want to say something like the only thing that changes will be how much more blood you shed. The only difference will be how much more blood you want to shed. A difference doesn't seem like the right word. It's like variable, but I don't think a Hutt would say the word. Would she say variable? The only variable is how much more blood you want to shed. Or like pay, essentially. I want it to be like a callback to earlier. That's probably too wordy for what I want.
In Rimashuk.
Tatooine dupadudarame. Adwara Wookiee patalopakapa.
It's a little... that's too wordy. Only you can choose how much more blood is shed. Let's try that.
Adwara Wookiee patalopakapa.
Shachekopa.
Okay. Son of a gun. You bastard. I just want to see if it's worth me extending this. Oh my goodness. You just get a shot of Boba and Fennec standing there.
Shachekopa.
Yeah, it might be worth. Why not? What's the harm? I should replace it with the 4K footage, actually, since I'm zooming in so much. I'll do that. Only you can decide how much more blood is paid. Yeah, that sounds better. Nice. And use this financially. Go with Judge Love. That's funny.
Wookiee patalopakapa.
Shachekopa.
Damn Hutts.
Okay, let me see what else I cut there before. Yeah, because he just turns and talks to Chrysanthemum and Anton, and they pull a gun on him and talk and say, "You're free." What do... shoot. Let me just go to the real thing. See what Boba and Fennec talk about at the end there. cannot remember. He just runs away. It's so weird.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them. They would benefit from their enemies fighting one another.
I'll arrange a meeting with the mayor.
Some of that conversation I could use. Like if I start here, is there anything salvageable in this that's worthwhile?
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them. They would benefit from their enemies fighting one another.
I'll arrange a meeting with the mayor. Meeting with the mayor. Quite the gift.
Kill him.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them. They would benefit from their enemies fighting one another. They would benefit from another.
That doesn't. That context doesn't 100% make sense. Some of these lines work.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
I could just go from there.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them.
If I could just cut that second half, because I like the thing of Boba saying, like, considering killing them.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them. They would benefit from their enemies fighting one another.
I'll arrange a meeting with the mayor.
So I can keep some of this, and I can replace Fennec's voice easily. It's a lot harder to replace Boba's voice.
That or kill him.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
I have no reason to believe them. They would benefit from their enemies fighting one another.
I'll arrange a meeting with the mayor. Do you believe what the Hutt said? I'll arrange a meeting with her.
So what if I just, like, remove that, delete that?
That was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Oh, that's a hold on, weird jump.
Quite the gift.
Okay, so this is, I included everything else, so let's see if this plays well with what I have earlier. You gonna play nice or not? So that one goes right there. Oh, I might as well. Let's move this first.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Just didn't do any audio blending. want Boba to say that like once it punches in, so she can start saying that later.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
It's a little choppy now.
Yeah?
Either that or kill him.
Oh, do you believe what the Hutt said? So what he would be saying it like it was either believe them or kill them.
Either that or kill him.
Damn Hutts.
I'm getting some weird background noise underneath. The wrong spot. This. Yeah, that's supposed to start here. I don't even know what this is. The heck is this? Radio chatter? I've got a random radio chatter floating there. That's the soundtrack, okay. That should smooth the audio out a little bit better.
You sure that was a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Damn Hutts.
So I'm gonna replace this. I can replace this with whatever I want for Fennec. Should use slimy Hutts. Slimy, worse than damn. Leave what the Twi'lek man that was working for the Mayor's Cringer. Oh yeah, I trimmed out a lot of his antics. So it's essentially, do you believe they'd actually give you territory? Yeah. I can make Fennec say whatever I want though, and then he can say it was either that or kill him. What would Fennec say to him? It was either that. What would she propose there? It was either that or kill them. And she could say, like, you're letting them leave? It was either that or kill them. So it's essentially, do you believe they'd actually, yeah, you think they'd actually honor their proposal? It was either that or kill him? I don't know if that ties in well enough to Boba's line. Let me show you the quick transition.
Damn Hutts.
Let me do the talking in there.
Why is that?
Because I want to get the information fast and get to the fleet.
So do I. What's your point?
You kicking droids is really not helpful.
I figured out we're looking for an Imperial sympathizer, didn't I?
Okay, so that's where we're going next. Shoot, I titled this stream like Moff Gideon's agent. I overestimated, or rather underestimated how long the Hutt scene would take. Man, I need this one freaking line. I'm done if I can get Fennec to say the right thing here. It was either that or kill him. Okay, let me think. Should you have really let them insult you like that? It was either that or kill him. That could work. I don't want it to make it Boba seem like weak though. So I could say you're really going to let them walk away. Is letting them go a good idea, maybe? That might work. Is letting them go a good idea? It was either that or kill them. And then it's like, do we... If, you know, Boba's calculating, I could kill them. I mean, this is how Hutts have power, is the backing they have. So it's like, you kill the twins here, you're going to have the entire Hutt cartel carpet bombing your territory. I think that works. Is letting them go a good idea? Yeah, okay. I'll let you see what I'm doing. I've made it over 2 hours. 2 hours, 18 minutes. There you go. There's a longer stream.
Is letting them go a good idea? 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 Is letting them go a good idea?
Come on.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Give me what I want.
Is letting them go a good idea? Is letting them go a good idea? Is letting them go a good idea?
She loves ideas?
Is letting them go a good idea?
No.
Is letting them go a good idea? Is letting them go a good idea? Is letting them go a good idea?
Maybe that one. Let's see.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Damn huts.
That'll probably work. That did not, like, take the effects I wanted, though. Oh, come on. Come on. Dude, the copy pasting... I've shown this glitch before. Oh, my goodness. Then you can't get rid of them. Come on. You can't delete them bottom to top. You can only delete them top to bottom. Who programmed that? Oh, Sakui! I'm putting in the last line, Shoya, and then I'm hopping off, but you can watch the stream recap tomorrow. Make sure you watch it probably within the next 12 hours before Disney dumps on me and copyrights everything I'm doing. They just make me delete a bunch of it. No, no, no. Let's try this.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Slow it down a little bit. Volume down a little bit. Get some fade in, fade out. And then we're going to watch the scene back whole. Shoya gets to come in and watch the whole thing. Feel bad for Canderous had to have his wife die. Yeah. Yeah, that's from the book, isn't it? The Revan novel? It was like it. Yeah. I like the first half of that book a lot.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Either that or kill him. Release him.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Damn huts.
Let me do the talking in there.
Where's that?
There we go. All right.
Because I
That'll
wanted
work
to-
for now. I'll touch up the audio later. Let's watch this through. Shoya, I already showed this. You can catch this at like the beginning of the stream. So we're just gonna rock from here and roll through the huts. Call it a night.
Arjun Kata Makai.
Und Giju Chrysanthemum Crispa Uba.
Go on.
Otlakani Kiyojama Mishka Mumuli.
Clear off Tatooine, and I will consider a truce.
Od mita kayuyi mebo no pasafi la imatran rixe.
Say your piece.
Und Hakindo Payuya. Die Hajiti Kesbo Andopa Le Syndicata.
Yes, my pocket dick.
Mga puya karakamakse.
Promised by who?
Otbaka du Ata. No Otonucha.
Nigula da puno.
On Iluxi en Rimashuk.
Tatooine dupadudarame. Adwara wuki patalopangkaba.
Chache Opa.
Is letting them go a good idea?
Either that or kill him.
Damn Hutts.
Let me do the talking in there.
Why is that?
Because I want to get the information fast and get to the fleet.
So do I. What's your point?
You kicking droids is really not helpful.
Nice. Okay. You know, I made note of 4 or 5 things I need to tweak. Some of the audio blending still needs a little bit of work. Subtitle timing, but I definitely like the overall structure of the conversation. Follows up really well from this thing now. You got this an actual Hutt plot moving forward. So that was really good work. Yeah, it was Shoya was here, so he saw that first part, came back surprised to see me still gone. Yeah, heck yeah. 2.5 hour stream. I am gonna wrap it up now though. I would like to have some energy for work and the gym and family tomorrow. What's tomorrow night? I'm trying to think, when will my next stream be? Probably Sunday night is what I'm going to plan for. Memorial Day weekend here. Do they do Memorial Day in other countries? Do they do Box Day anywhere? I just like Boxing Day. What is that? Box Day? I have a Canadian at my church, and she was telling me about that. I was like, what the heck is Boxing Day? So, thanks, guys. This was a really good effort, teamwork, like always, writing this thing. Thank you so much for the ideas. Bouncing things off each other. That was nice, nice, nice. I am very happy with big picture of this stuff. I'll do the boring stuff tomorrow. Get it all sounded nice. Do my lip sync over here. And then redo the voice lines. So next time I stream, should have that done. And I'll show all this off, I hope. And then we'll be starting Darksaber next time. Sorry about lying on the title. We didn't even get to Moff Gideon's agent. There's not much to edit here, though. I just need to redo the voice lines, which is just kind of boring watching you just watch me generate voice lines for an hour and a half. So I'll do that on my own, and we'll stream probably Darksaber next time, which is exciting. Exciting stuff. Get to re-edit the fight a little. I've made some cuts you can see to the fight. A few adjustments, and then get to re-record Din's entire speech. Look at this little artwork I have designed here for this. Long speech. I extremely extended this conversation because I was taking like the 4K footage and then like zooming into side characters just to give me more space for Din to have a convincing speech. So any time there were Mandalorians even somewhat clear on the side of an image, with 4K you can do it. You can look, this thing's at like almost 2x scale. So I do like one scene, I'd get one side of the Mandalorians, and then I'd save the other half of the picture for another scene so that I could extend this conversation by an extra 30 seconds almost. So that Din actually has time to deliver a convincing speech. Heck yeah. And then, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this might be a task for Shoya. Because now that we're all in it would be good to do this whole thing in Mandalore, wouldn't it? It probably should be. This is a very sacred conversation. This is all tradition-based. I'm going to have to translate this whole freaking thing. Probably not the beginning, because it's like really contentious. But once we get to like Din's speech and stuff, then we can transition into the Mandoa. Also, because lip syncing all of this would be an absolute nightmare. So we'll go back and forth with some basic in Mandoa. Keep that trend going. Then into Moff Gideon. Then some Grogu. Then back here. I gotta figure out where I want to throw in my next Boba scene too. Let me plan that out. It's probably gonna be. So that's 154. You're probably gonna need one either probably after the Gideon stuff. Or even after Grogu here. It's been a while since we've seen Grogu, so I'll probably put the next Boba thing here, which will be about... That's a long time, though. It's like over 20 minutes. I don't know if I want to wait that long. Figure it out. That's the problem for the next stream. Final chats. Sounds good. Yep. We got Boxing Day. I don't understand what it is, but it's basically shops doing big sales. Oh, that's like your Black Friday then. That's what we call it here. Aussie doesn't have Memorial Day, but we've got an Anzac Day. Same thing. Okay. All right. See, no country's innovative. They all do the same things. They just feel unique by titling them different. Essentially, but not as good. And we're starting to get Black Friday now too. Oh yeah, can't miss the opportunity to commercialize even more. Still looks too much like Earth. Plazir. As the authority, yeah, I don't. You're definitely right on this one. Like those are just Earth trees. That looks really bad. Those trees. That does not look like a galaxy far, far away. Got your coffee mug. And your Earth trees. Yeah, this I didn't think the beginning of Plazir, the downtown area I think looks like that doesn't look like Earth. It's just they got really lazy when they went outside. Like this is a good set. It's a very good set. Walking down the streets. That I can't get it. I can't get it. That looks good. Some of that, like I thought that part looked good. I don't think you liked that one, but I did like this opening shot of Plazir. It reminds me of Mandalore almost. Mandalore with grass. It may not need to be all Mandoa because it's not as strictly Mandoa as the Children of the Watch would be. Yeah. I think the half and half will work great. It's like it'll especially because it starts very contentious with like Axe and Bo yelling at each other because he considers her to be like a cultist outsider. I gotta delete Grogu from there too. So I think it'll be good once Din starts talking about the rules of the Darksaber, then we transition into the Mandoa. That also helps my lip sync. At least it's not a Starbucks cup. Yeah. Yeah, Game of Thrones reference. How many wide shots show off the trees? You could get away with only having to change a few shots to make it less earthy, which you could do. If you want to do a mock-up, be my guest, there's quite a few wide shots. I mean, the entrance ones look the worst. Then you've got like all this, and then the fight, like you see those trees in the fight. This looks bad. You're right, that does just look like a field on Earth. Not great set design. I mean, there's maybe a planet like that. Who knows? No, yeah, there definitely is. I mean, there's literally things called Earth worlds in Star Wars, but EU at least. It's just lazy. I mean, yes, they're in the Star Wars galaxy. There's absolutely, with that many systems and planets, there's something that looks like this. Sure, you can say that there's something that looks this boring, but is that good Star Wars set design? No. So, if you want to do a mock-up, Goog, yeah, change the tree and grass color, purple, red. I don't know. But, like, we've already seen Plazir so much and seen that it has green. I don't know what you'd do. You're welcome to try anything you want, but you've got earth grass and earth trees everywhere. That would be a huge task. And the content will be on the characters more than the environment here, so. Alright, a problem for another night. It is sleepy time here in the US of A. It is almost 1 a.m. where I am, so that's going to be a peace out from me. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the teamwork. Thank you, Star Wars Authority, Shoya, Goob. Great talking to you all. Peace and love be with you.